Cumberland County, let's recycle right. We recycle cardboard, paper, aluminum, tin, and plastics number 1 and 2. Look for the 3-arrow triangle usually on the bottom of the plastic container. The number in the center determines the plastic number. Remember to recycle only number 1 and 2 plastics. Plastic bags, plastic film, hoses, and wires are not recyclable. They can damage sorting equipment and create hazardous working conditions. Don't trash our future. Do the right thing. Remember, reduce, reuse, and recycle.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Around South Jersey. I have one of the nicest guests I've ever had because this guy is a wonderful man. And Rob Penza is with us. Rob, so good to see you, man. I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while.
That's great to be back on the show. It's the second time.
Yeah, well, and let me tell you, Rob's son is fabulous. He does a great, he's into lighting.
He's into lighting,
things,
yep.
But he produced a lot of good programs and just has done a great job. But tell everybody what your main business has been over these years before you got into being so talented.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but now the main business, obviously, a lot of people know me. We have, me and my brother and the Teresis. We own Samuel Corluzzo Company and Teresi Transport, and we're now in Hamilton, New Jersey. But we were, for all these years in Vineland, New Jersey, and we're all down the East Coast. We're a petroleum transporter. We do a lot of the work for Wawa, Royal Farms, and a lot of we have over 830 employees.
Wow.
My grandfather started that business back in right before World War II.
Wow.
And started hauling fuel oil and black oil to Fort Dix and McGuire Air Force Base. And over the years it grew, and then my dad came in 57, the year I was born. Uh-huh. And built the business up, and then me and my brother built the business, and the Teresis came on board and built the business to what we are today.
Wow. So how many trucks do you have?
We've got about 560
tractor
trailers.
How far south do you
So we're all the way to Florida.
Oh, you do go to Wawa's in Florida?
Yeah, we started with Wawa in Florida. We got them started in Florida.
Oh, that's neat.
Yep.
Jeez.
And now, of course, they're expanding out west.
They just hit 1,000 Wawa recently.
Yeah, it's an amazing machine.
Isn't it, though?
What they do. We do about 65% of all the Wawas in their whole entire network.
That is really something. Well, one of the things that I didn't know about is this talented guy. I have no talent. He's got all of it. And tell us about RAP and what you got here.
RAP Performance actually, was a business that I never intended to be a business. So RAP Performance was a business that we started to really help Corluzzo Teresi with apparel. The apparel company we were using back 14 years ago, believe it or not. I keep telling people 8, and then I realized that we were talking to our silk stitcher one day, and she says, Robert, it's been like 14 years. But we started it, and basically just to support our own business. It was never meant to be a business, and we never advertised. We never tried to compete with anyone. We never tried to take any business from anyone. It basically was friends knew I had it, and if they needed shirts or they needed apparel or they needed something, we can give it to them at a great price, and I did it. And it was just a little sidekick other than, trucks. I've been involved with trucking since I was 15 years old, painting truck rims back in the shop. So, this was just something else that was fun to watch, these different projects come together with artwork, doing artwork with the people. A lot of them had their own art. Some of them didn't have their own art. We put it together, and, it just grew and grew and grew, over the years. And, next thing you know, it was getting busier and busier. And a year ago, My girlfriend Sue Tull, she said, "Hey, can I help you and help you do this?" And I said, "Look, if we're going to do this, we're really going to do it, and we're going to be a business." Because I wasn't really a business. I mean, we were a business, but we weren't out promoting it. And I said, "If you're going to do it, we're going to promote it." And we started, a year ago, and she's done a lot of work to really help grow this business to where it is today. And believe it or not, our apparel's all over South Jersey. It's just that nobody knew who we were. And we have a couple of samples here. Of course, our hometown hero, Isaac Pacheco. We did some shirts for Blitz. We do a lot of Blitz football stuff. We're doing some Violent High stuff. We do some work for the city. Luna's, Tommy Marigi's always been good. Actually, we did a lot of work for Tommy all along. He's been a long-time customer. And Luna's. And there's just a lot of people. We've done some in the political. We've hit the political arena on both ends. We're bipartisan, but Democrat and Republican. Senator Testa, Van Drew, Jack Chitterelli, who's now running. We just did shirts for Jack, who's running for obviously for governor. But we do all kinds of stuff. We actually even do catalogs, where a company can come to us and we'll put a catalog together, and their employees can order from their catalog. And Sue really does all this now. I mean, she pretty much, has the horns of this business and is growing. We just picked up Viking Yachts, big business for us in Valhalla. So we've come a long way, and we have awesome artist that does artwork if you need it, and if you don't, our stitcher does fabulous job, and our screen printing guys do fabulous work. And that's where we're at. I mean, we can get work out within a couple of weeks, once we get the proof approved. And we've been doing some good stuff.
That's fantastic.
And that's pretty much where RAP came from. And now we're busy. We're booming. And we appreciate all our customers. We do some work for the City of Island. We do a lot of work for City of Island, actually. And we appreciate all the customers that we've been picking up here and there. A lot of it's been word of mouth. Just this one talks to that. Now we're on Facebook, obviously, and we just did our first booth in Riviera Beach for Viking back in, I think it was October or whatever. But we did that, and this is some of the stuff from that promotional booth. We're going to be doing the League of Municipalities in the fall.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah, and it's exciting. It's something different than trucks.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. My father had trucks, and I used to drive the trucks when I was going to college and stuff, and so we had that common factor. But I always enjoyed driving the trucks. It was something. I stop at the diners and visit with people and that type of thing. And I don't like sitting in an office. I'm not one of the type of people that likes to be stuck in an office. So being on the road was sort of fun to do. But he finally retired when he hit about 70 years old. He retired. We had 5 trucks, but there were. He called silica sand.
Oh yeah,
it was interesting too. One of the stories I would go with him, and this time I was only like 15 or 16. It must have been summertime, and we had to go to New York, to a cathedral in New York, to drop off 10 ton of bagged sand. Wires and Waters was doing the sandblasting of the church. So normally, he and I would do okay. We'd slide the bag down to the tailgate, take it, walk 3 or 4 steps, and drop it. Well, this had a vestibule. You had to go up 3 steps. Oh my God!
You had to carry all that.
Oh wow, it was the toughest job. He and I were both like, "Whoa, this is not easy."
That's the one nice thing about being in the petroleum business for our drivers. Pretty much loads itself and unloads itself. So right. You're not hauling anything around. As long as you know color and you get it in the right hole. It goes where it's supposed to go. It's pretty easy, actually.
If we could, guys, get back to the shot I was talking. You want to, I guess, is it Isaac's shirt on the
Pacheco?
Pacheco's there, right?
If they want to zoom in on that.
And he's going to come out and reset the camera for us. But, boy, I tell you, Tommy Mariki does a great job, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Later on in the program, we're going to talk about
the event
that's going to be
the event
happening there. There you see the Vineland.
Yep, and this was after his first year. And, of course, Isaac, everybody knows. I'm sure everybody knows he came through our, all our Violent system, from Midget League all the way through Violent High. Nikki Basil and Chris and Dan Russo all did a great job with him. Of course, he made it to the big time. Then he came back, and this is the first year he did a camp for, giving back to the kids.
Yeah.
And we did the football shirt. That's a Violent High shirt. We had a catalog for Violent High, and we had sweatpants and shirts, and we did violent cheerleading. We did violent football.
That's super. It's amazing. Pacheco, 2 Super Bowls.
2 Super Bowls. Yep. He's an icon already.
He sure is.
In 2 years.
He's right there with Mike Trout.
Yes, he is.
And of course,
we got 2 good boys from local.
Don't we? And then what's this one, Rob?
So that's a Blitz. That's actually the coaches' shirts.
Oh, I see.
We do the coaches' shirts for Blitz football as well.
There we see.
And that was just 1 year. We've done several years of them shirts. And I was just talking to Nikki today, and we'll get ready to do the next year coming up.
Yeah. And then over here to our left, we've got the Luna outdoor bar shirts, right?
Yep. And Tommy just got a new order from us I think just the other day, if I'm not mistaken. He got his order for this year. Of course, Luna's is open now, so everybody's got to go to start going to Luna's. They do a great job outside. He's done a fabulous job with the outdoors.
Yeah. I was just talking to a friend of mine who had not been there. I said, Nikki, you're going to love it. The place is great. The entertainment's good. The food, Todd, you can't beat Marigi's food.
No, he does a great job. And they do the pizza now. They put the pizza in. I think last year. They got the fire pit, and they got it all going. All he has to worry about is weather, really. But for the most part, they do a super job.
Yeah, they really
and they're good
do.
people.
Yes,
his father goes. They go back, Ernie and Tommy.
Yep, generations. Yep, and I love their salad.
They got the best, right?
Oh my goodness, I go there. I just love that salad with
yes,
that special cheese or whatever they put in it. And it's interesting. I went to the soup kitchen banquet that they had, for the Violent Soup Kitchen, and the food. Honest to God, Rob, I could have left after the hors d'oeuvres. You had all this spread, the veggies and the cheeses and all that. And then they came around with like scallops with bacon wrapped around them, all kind of delicious things. I thought, man, I'm full now before I go to the buffet, which was also excellent. So, yeah, they do a really good job. It's one of my favorite restaurants. In fact, Joe Condo. Do you know Joe?
I don't.
Okay, he's like Testa's right-hand man. He's actually a really great guy. He's a patent attorney, but he is like the chairman, runs the Republican campaigns, and has had phenomenal success the last 3 campaigns. So we've gotten to be friendly. In fact, we went out there together, he and I, and had a delicious dinner recently at Marigi's. And they do a wonderful job. So how long have you done this?
So we've been doing RAP. I started like 14 years ago.
Okay.
But within the last, say, 5 years, is when it's really taken off.
Wow.
And it was all mostly just word of mouth up until a year ago. And then a year ago is when we got a website, and we got business cards, and now we go out and we do promote it.
That's great.
So within the last year since December, it's really boomed. And words are getting out even more every time we do something or we get another customer, and then we seem to find other customers. It's a good business. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity out there. There's every company wants shirts. They want we just did something for Allen Associates just recently where we did with Richie. We did a catalog, and they wanted they came up Corey put together a certain amount of garments, for their employees, and then the employees went in, they picked what they want, and then they actually gave it to them as gifts.
Oh, that's great.
So we could build the catalog, and then we pick out everything, and once you get it all together and the catalog is there, you run the catalog for a certain period of time, and then there's a cutoff, and then people, if a company's doing and paying for it, they just write the check, but people can also buy from the catalog. Like that's what we did for Violent High. And for now Blitz Football, we're doing it for Blitz Football as well, where we have a catalog. People can go in, they select it, they pay for it, and then we make it and send it out.
Oh,
it's a pretty simple process, actually.
And I remember when COVID drove people inside. And somebody I know is pretty smart now. You're doing some fun things from some places that you
we've kind of figured out some ways. With the world of internet, it gives you some great opportunities for sure.
So, which makes nice, so you can travel still.
We could travel and we still work. We work all the time, and between the trucking business and this business, we work all the time.
Well, you got a great work ethic, buddy. I guess your dad must have given you that, right?
Yeah, I'm sure between my and my grandfather.
Grandfather, yeah. So that business must be at like 80 years old. Your grandfather started
Yeah,
around
pretty
World
much. It
War
was
II.
right before World War
Yeah,
II.
right.
He started right before World War II.
So it would be over 80. Right?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So when he first started, was he delivering to houses or to
No, we never
gas
did home
stations?
heating and oil. It was all bulk. So he started. They would go up, and you'll know a lot of these names. So I did Fort Dix and McGuire Air Force Base.
Right.
Then they would haul back the city of Island
Sure.
to the electric utility
Okay.
to, of course, Owens, Illinois.
Yeah.
Right to Wheaton's Glass.
Yeah.
So they were all haulbacks.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
And so they
nice.
would go up, get loaded, and then
Yeah.
they would come back and they would come home. And that made the deadheading.
Yeah,
And
super. Yeah.
you've been in the trucking,
Yeah,
about
exactly.
deadheading.
Yeah.
So the problem with today's world, even with the Wawas down in this area, there's not enough of that business anymore. We're out all the time,
Yeah.
because we go load at the terminals and then we're all over. So it doesn't. It's actually hurts because drivers get paid different than they did years ago. They were get paid trip rate before. Now they're on the hour. So when they would leave from Violent, they're on the clock, but we're not making. You're not making.
Yeah,
the truck isn't making any money.
Right.
Until they load. So it's more important for our trucks to really be closer to the refineries.
And where are the refineries that you?
So what you still got Paulsboro, you got Magellan in Delaware, you got Philadelphia, and then of course we're all down the coast, right? You
Yeah,
got
down.
Orlando, and you're in Florida because you got Tampa, you're in Florida. So they're all in all different places that we pick up depending on where those terminals are. We have like 22 terminals now spread out all the way down the East Coast, and now we're getting ready to now make the move with Wawa again out west. Yeah.
Wow. That's, would you say 800 some trucks?
About 560 trucks.
560.
Yeah, 830 employees.
Oh, that was, I
Yeah.
thought there was a number there. That's really neat. Do they go 24 hours a day?
The trucks?
Yeah.
No, the neat thing about our drivers is, and it's always been, our drivers come home every night. So
that's
unlike,
nice.
over the road drivers,
Yeah,
it could be
right.
going, a couple days or a
Yeah.
week or whatever if
Yeah.
they're going out on the other coast. For us, our drivers go out, they do their deliveries, could be one, depending on what it is, if it's jet fuel or, or 4 gas station deliveries, depending on how long, but they're home, our drivers are home every night.
Oh, that's nice. So it really makes it convenient. So if you do have your CDL, right?
Yeah,
And
CDL.
You also have to have hazard, don't you?
You have to have hazmat. Got to be 23, at least 23 with your experience, and we're always looking for mechanics. We just
Yeah.
moved. We did, like I think I told you, we moved out of Island. Now we're in Hamilton as our corporate office, and but our main shop is in Logan Township, and that's where all our mechanics are, and that's where all the main mechanic work is
I
being
see.
done.
That's good. Well, we've got another great portion of this program coming up. We're going to be talking about a show that will knock your socks off, and you're going to love it. And we'll be back with Rob to talk about the live and in-person Michael Franzese.
Yep.
And he's a former Colombo mob boss. His story of transformation and redemption. And he also has some fabulous wine as well. So we'll be back right after these messages.
Hey, check this out. Hernia repair.
Ain't nothing, man. Kidney surgery.
That's nothing. Gallbladder removal.
That's nothing. Spinal repair.
I don't see nothing.
Exactly.
Minimally invasive robotic surgery at Inspira Health. Scar so small, it's almost like nothing ever happened.
Life on Earth offers some challenges. Things are constantly changing. Seems like we're fighting battles all the time. But you're a warrior for God. And He's given you the armor of God. Join Pastor Myers for this exciting series on how to be equipped to win. It begins May 5th at 11 a.m.
New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
Imagine living without pain. For over 35 years, Doctors Beebe and Doyle have helped thousands of people find relief from all types of pain. Millville Chiropractic Center has 4 doctors on staff specializing in hands-on or light-touch, drug-free pain relief methods. The examination, x-rays, therapies, and adjustments are all performed at one location. Schedule a consultation today. Enjoy life without pain and discomfort. Millville Chiropractic Center, the area's #1 pain relief center.
Many people treat their health like a game. With the Complete Care Health Network, it's easy to start your healthcare journey. Our mental health services focus on the emotions and behaviors that affect your overall well-being and features psychiatric, counseling, and addiction services, including our exclusive Fresh Start program, designed to help combat the opioid epidemic in our communities, plus all the other specialties you expect from Complete Care. Level up your health with us. The Complete Care Health Network. No games, just great healthcare for everyone.
The most important. The most important decisions a family can make are usually made around the kitchen table. At DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we believe pre-planning and the difficult decisions you face with the loss of a loved one should also be made around the comfort of a table, like a family. Our friendly, kind, and compassionate staff is committed to helping you get through this most difficult time. In your time of need, trust DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, Vineland.
We're all looking for God. All the signs point to, there is really a God. We try to find Him in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of places, and through all kinds of things. But there's only one way to find Him. That's by personal experience with Him. Come visit us this Sunday. We can introduce you to Him. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
In Cumberland County, let's recycle right. We recycle cardboard, paper, aluminum, tin, and plastics number 1 and 2. Look for the 3-arrow triangle usually on the bottom of the plastic container. The number in the center determines the plastic number. Remember to recycle only number 1 and 2 plastics. Plastic bags, plastic film, hoses, and wires are not recyclable. They can damage sorting equipment and create hazardous working conditions. Don't trash our future. Do the right thing. Remember, reduce, reuse, and recycle.
More than...
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. My special guest tonight is Rob
Penza.
Penza. And the A is for Anthony, Robert Anthony Penza. And Robert has had a very successful, and still does, trucking company that transports gasoline for Wawa and many other places as well. But you got something exciting, Rob. Tell me how this came about.
So this is actually being promoted through REP Performance. And how it kind of happened is Mike Franzese was watching podcasts. And Chaz Palminteri, I think a lot of people know, he comes here to Millville every year. He does the play Bronx Tale. And I've gotten to know Chaz over the years, and I happened to be watching a podcast one night of him, and he happened to have Mike Franzese on as a guest. And then in a little while after that, they started a podcast together called The Wise and the Wise Guy, and they were doing one together. So happened to be, I started following them and listening, and I've always been intrigued by mob stories. And listened to a couple audio books with Bill Riley, Killing the Mob, and there's a book on Little Nicky Scarfo, and I've always been intrigued by some of those mob stories. And so I started watching a lot of these podcasts and would watch Chaz and on Wise and the Wise Guy, and then Mike started having his own podcast and started watching that, and just became interested. And then Mike just so happened, just shortly after that, he came to Atlantic City.
Oh, wow.
And he did a show at Atlantic City. So a friend of mine, Sal, and we went over to see him in Atlantic City, and we did a meet and greet and got a chance to meet him behind stage and listen to his story. And where Chaz does a play, because he's doing a story of his life, right, at the Lavoie, Mike really is telling a story, and his story pretty much is about his life growing up in the mob. His father, Sonny Franzese, was also a made man in the Colombo crime family. Oh, wow. And Mike, as a kid, as a youngster, obviously grew up, and even though the father never, interjected the mob life to the kids, okay, or brought it home, but they would be subject to the police and feds and constant, no matter where they went, being watched. And he has a lot of stories that he tells about it, but actually he had no interest in being in the mob. He actually was going to school to be a doctor.
Wow.
And what happened was his father got put to jail, went to prison, And, through the course of, that time, Mike, I guess, became, he wanted to help his dad. So he figured if his only way to do it was to become a mob member, and then he can try to do whatever he had to do to try to get his dad out of prison. And I think that was his major goal, getting into the Colombo crime family. And he, he went in as a process. He's got to be a soldier and blah, blah, blah. And then ultimately, he became a made man. And then he was most famous for his scheme that he came up to, where he was skimming gasoline tax, from the federal government, and he was bringing in $8 to $10 million a week.
A week?
A week.
Oh my goodness!
Into the mob, and he was at that point he became one of the, the top mob earners, and he was only in his 20s.
Wow.
At that time. So we heard his story, and we went behind stage, and we got a picture and autograph. He signed his book, Blood Covenant is the name of his book, and I just continued to watch it, listen to the book after that, and eventually had talked to Chaz and got to meet Mike, and we became friends over the course of the last few months. And I thought that it would be a great idea to maybe, we don't really have a whole lot that comes to Violin, and Chaz goes to Lavoie. And I thought, well, maybe we'll bring Mike, to Violin and do a show here. And unfortunately, last night we had to make some changes to our plans. I mean, originally he was going to come to the Landis Theater, and it was going to be next Friday night on the 31st. And we had planned to do a special dinner with some special people on Thursday night. And there's an event in Violin, big event on Friday night, and we just weren't getting the ticket sales that we were hoping to. And so last night, believe it or not, Mike's actually in the UK right now. He's traveling in the UK. He's doing I think 13 gigs down there.
Wow.
And we were texting back and forth, and we decided that we wanted to pull the plug on the show. But what we decided to do was continue with the dinner, which was going to be on Thursday night, which we had a lot of people that we had invited. It was like a VIP kind of thing to have this dinner with him and his wife and his partner with the wine, Sam. And we decided to just kind of call audible at the last minute and do it all on Thursday night. So now everything is going to be on Thursday night, and it's going to be at the Savoy, May 30th, next Thursday. It's going to start at 6 o'clock, and it's a cool mob story, and it's a love story.
Oh, that's
because ironically, he got out of the mob because he fell in love with his current wife, Camille, and he didn't want that life for his wife, and if they were going to have kids, for kids. So he did his time. He didn't rat on anybody. He did his time, and I think he served 8 years in prison and like 2.5 years in solitary confinement.
Wow.
And during that time, his wife mother-in-law was a Christian. They were strong Christians, and someone gave him a Bible while he was in solitary, and he started reading the Bible, and he came out, he kind of converted to Christianity. And for the last, it's not new what he's doing. He's been doing this for the last 20-some years, going around, talking to people, going to jails, talking to kids, to try to steer him in the right direction, of the consequences. And, I've found him to be an honorable guy, and he makes no, excuses of what he does or what he did in his past. His past is his past. And if you ever get a chance to listen to his podcast, he's got some great guests on. Him and Chaz still do The Wise and the Wise Guy, and that's a cool podcast. And Mike has his own. Chaz has his own as well. But so we're doing this now, and RAP Performance is the sponsor of this program, and it's a dinner, wine tasting, and the live show all in one night. And it's going to start at 6 o'clock is cocktail hour at the Savoy, 6 to 7, and then we'll have wine tasting with the dinner. And Tommy has put together a real nice dinner and for us, and then we'll go right in with the show. And then if people want to stay, they could meet and greet him, and he'll take a picture with you. And he has his book is called Blood Covenant. Is the name of his book. It's a great book. Actually, a lot of his show is the book. And they can take a picture with Mike, and he's very, very gracious, a great person, very kind. And, we're looking forward to it. I know we had to make some changes at the last minute, but I think it's going to be for the better for everybody.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was invited, Rob said, why don't you come? I said, I've got Complete Care event, which is actually
the next night. That's right.
On the 31st, and I'm on the board there, and I've got presentations to do, so I said I couldn't make that. And, of course, Thursday evening, I do the live show from that Thursday would be the New Jersey Motorsports Park. So, unfortunately, I couldn't. But I think that's a smart move because instead of trying to compete with somebody that's drawing hundreds of people, this is nice because
Yes.
it's all together and a lot really more personalization.
It's going to be more personal, and when Mike were texting back and forth last night, he said it'll be more intimate, and I felt bad because I really thought, Chaz, draws a lot of people at the Lavoie. He almost sells them out, I'm pretty sure, and I thought that Mike would probably get that same draw, and I mean, but there's a lot of things. It's right after the holiday, start of the summer. People have plans. People are going down the shore now. You got the other event on Friday night. There's a lot of competition, and most of the people that were committing to come to dinner, which was Thursday night. Right. So all them people obviously are still coming. So they'll get to see. They weren't going to get to see the show. Some of them weren't going to go Friday because of other commitments. Yeah. So now the benefit everybody will have that comes Thursdays, they're going to see the whole shoot match all at one time, and then he'll do meet and greet. And then the other piece of this is the Armenian wine, which is we have set up here, and Mike got hooked up with this fella Sam, and he's Armenian, and the Armenian wine, which I did not know, the Armenian grapes was the first grapes of the New World after Noah's Ark. Oh, wow. And he got together with Sam, and that's a whole nother story in itself, and I'll let him tell that story. But the two of them got together, and they came up with, Francis wine, which you can get on franciswine.com. It's actually recently, within I think maybe the last 2 months now, it's in the state of New Jersey. They're going national with it, and he actually has a couple other. This is all I have right now, but we'll have at least 4 of them, I think, at the wine tasting. There's a white too that I don't have, and I've actually tasted most of them, and they're actually pretty good. One's a table wine, it's a sweet one, and then have a couple others a little bit more like a Pinot Noir, a little drier. But and then the pomegranate actually is the cool bottle, and one of their, from what I understand, one of their top sellers, believe it or not. And I have not myself tried that one, but we'll look forward to doing that shortly. And these are yours, Jim. Actually, this is complimentary. And Mike, actually, we have one that's autographed for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
And if you can see it on your thing, there it is right there. So these have an autograph from Mike himself.
Wow. So it's next Friday.
This will be next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Yeah, next Thursday at the Savoy Inn.
You know what? I may stop over. It's okay, at least.
Yeah,
to say
no.
I'll meet him because I'll be done at the Motorsports Park by, what are we done there, Ryan? 7 o'clock, so I should be there.
The show may not even have started yet, so come.
Yeah, okay.
No, we would love to have you, and we appreciate us helping us out with with this, to try to promote the show.
Meet the man.
And you can take a picture with him.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. Well, I'd say that's something I give you a lot of credit for putting this together, and to have someone as famous as Michael Franzese, and he's a former Colombo mob boss, and his story is of transformation from being a criminal to redemption, becoming a Christian, and meeting his wife. And,
it's really a cool story. It really, really is. And I've actually listened to his book on audio twice. And then transformation redemption has a lot to do with the wine. That's why he kind of paired up. Well, yeah, because you figure the transformation of the new world. Okay. You know what I mean? And I think when he met Sam, and Sam's a cool, really nice kid too, and he's a younger guy, and they got a cool story even amongst themselves of how they got, where Sam had seen him, perform, and just, followed him and followed him and followed him and met him, and he was aggressive, and Mike, they talked, and then eventually they put together this wine package, and now they're selling it. But that the transformation and redemption is all part of both of them, really, and Mike coming out of being in the mob and doing what he's doing. Oh, it's an amazing story. There's a lot of really, let me tell you, there's a lot of neat stuff. He talks about the JFK assassination, and and I'm not going to give you too much because then I'll let him talk about his stuff. But he talks about how back in those days, right? Yeah. Not so much now, but back in those days, how the mob controlled so much, and how they controlled sports betting, and how they can there was a lot of things that the mob controlled that you don't think about. Wow. And he has a lot of information, and a lot of information obviously comes from him being part of it. Yeah.
Well, when Kennedy was killed, he must have been a teenager, early 13, 14.
Yeah.
Like what'd you say? He's in his 70s?
He's in his 70s now. Okay. I'm not going to make a mistake and pick the one. I know he's in his 70s, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, well, I am too.
I'm going to guess it maybe 73, maybe 73, something like that. But you know what else? So, obviously you've seen the movie Godfather, right? Yeah. So there's I don't remember the name of it right now, but that documentary that came out, The Making of the Mob, The Godfather. Did you ever see that?
No.
Okay, so if you ever get a chance to see that, watch that. That is really cool because there's a lot of information on that you didn't know about how the mob was a part of, how they stopped it being in the making, and then how they kind of got control of it, right? And Colombo, right, was the mob boss in the Colombo crime family. Right. He was one of the biggest things that they didn't want is they didn't want the word mafia. So mafia, it really is not you don't hear mafia in The Godfather ever. And Colombo at that point was trying to promote the Italians, right, not give the Italians a bad name. And he was doing these rallies, and Mike was actually, I guess, in his teens then. He wasn't a soldier or main man. He was out handing out pamphlets, and he was next to Colombo when he got killed, or when he got shot.
Oh,
he didn't
goodness.
die. He didn't die until later. Wow. But I think he was in a coma for a year, whatever. But Mike was right there. So I'm telling you, he has a lot of really cool stories.
Wow, that is interesting. We'll be back with more to talk about Michael Franzese and the great event that's coming up on May 30th at Marighi Savoy Inn. A fabulous dinner, folks, I guarantee you that, and a great program when the mob boss to the wine boss, to Michael Franzese, talks about his life and how he went from being in prison for 8 years.
In prison 8 years, in solitary for like 2.5.
Wow.
And then how he came out. He's had 7 kids, 7 grandchildren now.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. See, went from the bad to the good, and that's a wonderful thing. We'll be back to talk more with with Rob here on Around South Jersey right after these messages.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
Hey, check this out. Hernia repair.
Ain't nothing, man. Kidney surgery.
That's nothing. Gallbladder removal.
That's nothing. Spinal repair.
I don't see nothing.
Exactly.
Minimally invasive robotic surgery at Inspira Health. Scar so small, it's almost like nothing ever happened.
Life on Earth offers some challenges. Things are constantly changing. Seems like we're fighting battles all the time. But you're a warrior for God. And He's given you the armor of God. Join Pastor Myers for this exciting series on how to be equipped to win. It begins May 5th at 11 a.m.
New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey. My special guest is Rob Penza, who has RAP Performance, rather. And of course, we're talking about a great program that's going to happen next Thursday evening at the Marighi Savoy Inn. It'll start at 7 o'clock. And the man that's going to be there, Michael Franzese, is a former Colombo mob boss, and he tells the story of going from transformation to redemption. And now we're going to talk about RAP Performance. And Rob, tell us a little bit about what we see on the screen.
So mostly we talked about, it earlier. What you see on the screen is just one of our flyers has our QR code. If anybody is interested in, doing any apparel, we also do promotional products, cups and bags and, things like that. Our QR code is right there on the bottom of the screen. You can zoom in on that, and then you see Sue's email address, and, she'll take good care of you and take it from there, and we'll help you through. If you need a logo, we have an artist, on board. Well, they'll help you get the logo. A lot of times it's if you have your logo, it's easy, right? Yeah. But if you don't, and people are searching, and sometimes it's a struggle because you're trying to get ideas of building a logo, right? But we get through it, and then eventually when we get through it, then the process is pretty easy. And, we'll get whatever you want. As you see, we deal with a lot of, name brands. Peter Millar, we just picked up. Gildan and Edic, and Edic is very popular right now in the fishing industry, believe it or not.
No kidding.
And, Nike, where Mikey,
Columbia,
and there's pretty much all of them. Jerseys.
Wow.
We pretty much have all the different, brands of shirts and stuff like that. And if it's something specific, in fact, some of these that are on this board, we went out. Customers wanted them, and originally we didn't have them, but then we went out and we just picked them up and became dealers for them. But you can get it from the QR code there, or go on our website, rapperform.com, and that'll bring it to our website, and it'll actually, we have a gallery on there of some of our artwork that we've done and some of our work that we've done, and you'll see it. We've done the Violin Fire Department, we do some work from the city of Violin, and and then like we already showed, like Pacheco, we do blitz football, we did some Violin High stuff. There's a lot. We're like I said, we're all over South Jersey. Just nobody really ever knew who we were.
No, hidden gem here that we didn't know about. That is neat. Must be fun for you though, for having the branch out.
Yeah, it's something. Like I said, it's something different. I've been in trucking all my life since I was 15. And it's just something. I never meant it to be this. Let me tell you, I didn't think I'd ever be sitting here talking about this. And even where we're at, doing some of the stuff that we're doing. Yeah. But I like taking on projects, and I like doing things. And and then when I got to meet Mike, I just kind of thought that it would be pretty cool if we could get something to Violin. I wanted to try to help Violin out. Really, we don't really get a whole lot of stuff, and Ray does a great job over at Landis Theater, and brings in a lot of bands and stuff like that. And I thought, if we could bring in a headliner in, that would be great. Unfortunately, it just, we've had some competition, didn't work out, and now we're just going to, change it up and do it all on Thursday night, and now it'll be at the Savoy.
Let me offer you something for Ray. Whenever he has a show coming up, why don't you and he come in? I'll give you an hour to promote his show.
Yeah, and we may do this again. Me and Ray talked this morning, and we said that, unfortunately, it just worked out the way it is. It's better to do what we're doing, for the benefit of everybody. And in fact, him and Casey are going to come and actually going to come. And like I said, if you're there, please come out and get a chance to meet Mike. And we appreciate, he'll appreciate what you're doing. And we'll talk about it. And if it, sometimes it takes the first time to get it started.
Yeah, that's true.
With a lot of things. Yeah. And I think once he comes to town, and first of all, a lot of the people, you'd be surprised, a lot of the people that follow mob stories, male and female. Sure. I've met on both ends, talk to people and like, oh, I love this and oh, I love that. And they follow this one and follow that one. And I think once maybe the word's out and people get to hear and the buzz gets out about them, maybe we do it again. And then we won't do the dinner. We'll just do the theater. This way the theater gets it then.
Yeah, that would certainly be a good thing. As you said, Chaz Palminteri comes in.
Chaz comes pretty much every year, and he just was in Atlantic City. We just went to see him, and he just came. Well, I think in the fall. He usually comes in the fall to the Lavoie, and he packs him in.
Yeah,
that's his story is a great story. The difference with Chaz and Mike is Chaz does a play. Chaz, you ever seen his play?
No, I haven't.
You really got to go see it. Yeah. He acts out all these parts, of the story of a Bronx Tale. And the Bronx Tale is basically a story of his life growing in, where he witnesses, a mob hit. Wow. You know what I mean? And he never was in the mob, though. Chaz lived where the mob was around him in the Bronx, but was never really in. And Sonny, who he plays, and he's got a great story. I mean, both of these men have great stories to tell, of how they grew up and what was around them and what they've become. And I find it fascinating for both of them. And I'm happy to know them both. Chaz is a great guy. He's always gracious to me. My brother and I, we owned a restaurant with him in Baltimore years ago.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, we don't have that there anymore now, but he does have two restaurants up in New York, one in Manhattan, one in White Plains, where he's from.
Oh, okay.
I have not had a chance to visit them, but in fact, coming out pretty soon, I think June 13th, as a matter of fact. Chaz is the first movie. Well, it's a documentary of his play. He's actually going to have a lot. Like normally, his play is just live. and now they videoed his play, and that's coming out like on a movie. And the debut is on the June 13th, and on a Thursday. In fact, we're going to go up and see it. And but he was always gracious whenever he's come to town here, or whenever we go to Atlantic City. I always buy a block of tickets and bring friends, and he always sees everybody, and always takes pictures with everybody. Very, very gracious man, and a good friend. And that's how I met Mike, and Mike's the same way.
So are they about the same age?
No, I don't think so. Okay. And I'm not going to even, guess on that one, but I don't think so.
Grew up about the same time, maybe. I just wondered what that was all about as well.
But they also have the segment, The Wise and the Wise Guy, and that's pretty good, because one's the wise and the other one's the wise guy. So you got the wise guy as Mike, and you got the wise as Chaz.
Oh, okay.
And that's how they have that segment. And they do a podcast, and that's on YouTube.
Oh, that's right. You did say that.
Yep. Yeah. And then Chaz has his own podcast, and then Mike has his own podcast.
Oh, that's
on
great.
YouTube, and now Mike's on Rumble as well.
Wow, that's really.
And he has some really good topics. I watch him all the time, and he covers some really good content. So I urge anybody to see him.
Well, and you can come see him in person on May the 30th. If we put that up again, it'll be at the Marigny Savoy Inn, which is a fabulous place, great food and beverage, and there you see it, live and in-person dinner and wine tasting. It'll be Thursday, May 30th, 6 o'clock, Marigny Savoy Inn. Michael Franzese is the former Colombo mob boss, the story of transformation and redemption. The redemption part is special, and a love story and a mob story. You don't get better than
no,
that,
it's a pretty good ticket.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget, like I said, Mike's wine now and Sam's wine is available, to purchase in the state of New Jersey. It took a little while to get there, but you just recently, within I think the last, maybe it's 2 months now, but now it is available in the state of New Jersey. And if you go on Franzese.com, you will be able to actually purchase his wine, and then whoever's at the event will be able to purchase his wine at the event as well.
Right.
And if they buy a bottle and they do the meet and greet, he will autograph it like he did for you here. If they buy a bottle when they're at the event.
That's fantastic. So it's excitement to bring somebody in of this fame. This guy is in England now. He's
in England now. I was texting him last night when we were making the decision to do what we did, and I said, "How are you making out there?" And he's been bringing in 400 to 700 people at his shows out in England. He's very popular in the UK.
That's great. That really is.
Yeah, he's doing a great job out there. Another interesting thing would, other than the fact that I've known the Marignys, pretty much all my life, right? Like we all do, right?
Yeah.
But an interesting thing too of having the dinner at the Savoy. The reason why, one of the reasons is that years ago there was actually a mob dinner at the Savoy. Believe it or not.
Kidding.
Yes, and back in the day, and actually it's documented in a book. Buddy Leonetti, who was Nicky Scarfo's nephew, in his book Mafia Prince, it don't mention the Savoy by name, but it mentions Violin, New Jersey.
Oh, darn.
And there was this mob meeting then, and back then I don't know what happened back then, but definitely was there, and it happened. So it kind of brings us back. I kind of figured it was a great place, right? Everybody, we could all be back, part of
the history.
Little nostalgia,
Yeah.
in with the program.
That is fantastic. It really is. And as we say, Marigny's is such a fantastic place. In fact, I'll be there the next night for the Legends program, which is part of Complete Care's fundraising, and they're honoring 3 people again this year. In fact, I saw Mary Gruccio. I know you know Mary, former superintendent of school. She and I are past Legends, and they had a dinner for us the other night, and got to see her, and she's looking great. And that's a nice event. But this is something special. This is something you can tell your children about when you find out about how the guy went from mob boss, from Colombo mob boss, to his story of transformation and redemption. His name is Michael Franzese, and it's all going to happen at the Savoy on the 30th, and starts at 6 to 7.
6 to 7 is cocktail hour.
Right.
Yep. And then 7 o'clock we'll do dinner. And Tommy prepared a really nice menu to complement the wines.
That's great.
And then probably around dessert we'll start the show. We'll start the show, and Mike will come up and he'll tell a story.
Oh, that'll be great.
And then if you want, there'll be meet and greet after. That's optional.
Yeah, that's even nice too.
Yeah.
I saw that.
And he takes his time. He really does. He takes his time with it. He did with us in Atlantic City. for my friend Sal and Sue, Rita, and us. We went up and we got to meet him and took pictures with us. And he like I said, he was very gracious. And you'll get a book, and he'll autograph the book for you. And if you buy wine, he'll autograph the wine, and that's it.
Well, they can't get any better.
No, I think it's a nice program.
Yeah,
something different,
up close and personal.
Yeah, up close and personal.
A celebrity, which is really interesting, and it's got to be interesting to hear. Well, you told a little bit about what he did when he was in the mob, and then skimming the gas taxes and things like that went along with it. But thank God he was able. Well, he served 8.5 years.
About 8.5 years, I believe, in prison, and then he did a couple years in solitary.
Wow, that would kill me.
And you know what else too? So you've seen the movie. Goodfellas, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's known those characters, the people that he's obviously was around. That was all during that time. So and he's actually portrayed in Goodfellas. There's a part of where they scan the bar and they say Michael Franzese.
Oh,
so
no kidding.
Now, even though he was not part of that family, but they just put him in there, is what he says. Is what he said. As I heard him say. But no, I mean, and he's had legitimate businesses and illegitimate business. But the part of the love story part of it, I just want to hit on that. Is he had part of a business that was legitimate, was the movie production business. And he was producing movies. And he was in Florida, and his wife Camelia was an actress.
Wow.
And that's how he met her, and he kind of hooked up and kind of fell in love with her. She was a Christian. His mother-in-law was a Christian, and but then he went away. That's when he got busted and eventually went away. And he said he didn't want that life, for them and for her, and if they were going to have kids. And that's when he made the transformation and came out and did his time. Never ratted on anybody. Never put anybody, because he's really one of the known. If he'll tell you, he's one of the only mob that come out publicly that's alive. All the other made men that were made men when he was made are all dead.
Wow.
So to come out, he said there's only two ways you come out of the mob. You either go in witness protection or you're dead. That's the only two ways out. But he's out and he's telling, he tells his story. But he never put anybody away. He never got anybody in trouble.
Well, that was smart on his part. And as you said before, he was reading the Bible while he was in solitaire and becoming a Christian.
Becoming a Christian.
And
he promotes that every show. If you watch his shows.
Quite a few children too?
7 children and 7 grandchildren.
Wow, that's fabulous. Wow, what a change in his life.
Big change. All good looking. Everybody's all good looking family.
That's wonderful. I'm so happy for him that he was able to turn his life around, and transformation and redemption.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Isn't it?
And his partner Sam came in, and he's part of the wine, and he's a good brother too. And I'm looking forward to, I met Mike. I haven't met Sam yet. I only talked to him on the phone, but Sam will be here too, and his daughter Julia is coming with him.
Where does Mike live?
California.
Okay. Yeah. And about the other guy, Mike.
California as well.
Also. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's nice, but they're flying in.
Yep. And then we're going to meet them and then, have our event.
Oh, that'll be wonderful. Really will. It's exciting. So, one more time, Ryan, if we can, let's promote this as we're getting ready to wrap it up and tell what's going on there.
So, Thursday night, May 30th, 6 p.m. at Marighi Savoy Inn, a night with Mike Franzese. He's a former Colombo mob boss, the story of transformation and redemption. It's a love story and a mob story. And also he's a mob boss and he's a wine boss. And Mike Franzese brings Armenian wine to Vineland for our folks to try. And I think they'll enjoy it and they'll want to buy a bottle or two. And that's pretty much it. And then he'll tell his story, how it was growing up in the mob and some of the things during his course of the time in the mob and in prison and, with his dad and the whole 10 yards.
That's fantastic. And I am looking forward to coming about 8 o'clock. At least I can hear his story.
Yeah, you'll definitely get the story. And you can follow him on YouTube and on Rumble. There's this podcast, and I urge you to do so. He's very interesting. Cocktail hours at 6 to 7, and then the dinner and wine will be at 7. And then the live show right after that. And then if you're interested, it's an option. You can do a meet and greet, and Mike will sign his book, Blood Covenant, and you'll get a photo op with him, and he'll autograph his book as well. So the prices are on there. Dinner and wine and the live show is $175 per person, and if you want meet and greet, it's an extra $65. We have our QR code there. That QR code will bring you to the RAP Performance website. And then if you go on the RAP Performance, there'll be a link there to bring you into purchasing the wine or purchasing the tickets. And we can Venmo for the payment, or you can bring a check to the event.
And of course, we got the RAP Performance Apparel and Promotions. In fact, I got to talk to you. I need to get some nice golf shirts for my people.
We can certainly help you out with that. You got somebody to do it. And I guess we do all kinds of logoing and promoting. We do promotional items as long as all apparel. And we can do catalogs and pretty much anything. And that's our QR code there. And go on rapperform.com is our website. And it'll be all our information on there. You contact Sue, and she'll take care of you and get whatever you need.
That's super. We get lots of great things from the RAP Productions, and of course the big show that'll be phenomenal on May 30th at Marigi's Savoy Inn. By all means, get your tickets. The food is fabulous. The show is going to be phenomenal. Former mob boss, Colombo mob boss, and his story of transformation and redemption. And it's Michael Franzese, and of course he even has wine. So what you get, great wine, a phenomenal person who is known, and has a great story to tell, and the Marigi's good food. And Flushing, say hello to Rob, who's one of my favorite people. It's good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know that. Well, I think I seen you at the soup kitchen. We were at the soup kitchen. It was the last time I seen you.
Yeah, I forgot. My God, everybody was at the soup
Everybody was at the soup kitchen. Another good program,
wasn't it?
Yeah, that's a great program. Carlos and his family was at. It was.
Yeah, they do.
That was great.
Job too. Anyway, thank you, sir.
Jim, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you next week.
You bet. Thanks for coming in. And
thank you,
folks. Take advantage of it, and get out to Marigi's on the 30th. Have dinner, have wine, have fabulous dinner. I promise you that. And then listen to the story that the former mob boss, his story of transformation and redemption, and that's Michael Franzese. And he'll also have some great Armenian wine. And this one looks really cool. This is
that's the pomegranate
wine as well. It's a neat bottle as well. I want to thank Ryan Narowski for producing the show tonight. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you again real soon. Thank you, folks. Bye-bye.
This has been a QBC television production in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22 and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.